Forgiveness. Today, I want to speak a little bit about forgiveness. And this is a topic I think is also for our mental health. There are so many unforgiveness in our hearts that we don't understand what it's doing to us. And so I want to say this. There's a saying by Louis Smedes, and he said that to forgive is to set a prisoner free and then to discover that the prisoner was you. Now, isn't that interesting? So many of us actually have some feud or some conflict or something that somebody might have done to you, said something, did something, and it's being held in your heart, that grudge, the anger, the resentment, the bitterness, that you are unable to forgive that person. And so there is no true healing that has taken place for you. So there's a saying that, you know, unforgiveness is like drinking poison and you're waiting for the other person to die. And, John Maxwell was talking about when we hold wounds and grudges, we are in essence choosing to keep a wound that prohibits us from fully healing. Now, think about that and let it digest a little bit. Because when we choose not to forgive, it is we who is holding on to whatever it is that you're feeling. And there's always a choice. There's a choice to forgive. I know there are people who don't speak to family members because of whatever reason, whatever they did. They don't talk to their neighbors. They have some feud with maybe their colleagues at work. And it just goes on. And they would choose, actually, no, I would not speak back to that person. Many times when I share about forgiveness, there are people who do things to me too. And I made a choice. You know what? Even though I see them, I'm gonna say good morning or good afternoon or how you doing or hi, or and it leave up to them whether they want to speak or they don't want to. So for me, it is clear in my mind, clear in my heart that there is no resentment. That at the end of your life, there's nothing that you could say that was left undone, and anything that you may need to, those wrongs that you need to right, there should not be anything. You should be free. And I do believe that whatever it is, whatever it is that somebody done, I've seen people who forgive. I think the one of the worst thing, people who killed their family member, and they were able, the family for that person that died was able to forgive the person who murdered them. Now that is really deep, and it will take a lot of, I would say, mental resilience on your side to forgive. And so could you imagine if someone can forgive at that level? Who are you? Who am I that we cannot forgive someone who might have made a mistake, might have done some, whether they did it willfully or not, that you're willing to say, I forgive you. You see, carrying the ugliness and the pain and scars of unaddressed issue will prevent you from seeing yourself or anyone else with clarity, according to John Maxwell. And so you get to choose. And John always shared this story about his father, which I found very interesting. And it's something that also I keep thinking back to. And he says that his father name is Melvin. So once someone asked Melvin his opinion about a man known to have said unkind things about Melvin. And so Melvin replied by asking, so I think he's a good man. So, this person was asking, how can you say that this person is a good man when they would have said so many bad things about you? And this is Melvin. And Melvin replied, and I think of this person as, this is his exact word. I think that he is a good man. And the person who was asking Melvin said, how can that be? And Melvin said, well, you asked me about what I thought about him, not what he thought about me. And so think about that a little bit, that how do you see others? Yeah, people might not see you the same way that you might think you are, and they might have all different things about you they want to say, and that their thoughts about you, their perspective, and that's okay. But what do you think about them? What do you say about them? Is it that because they think of you like that, you think also about them in that same way? I do believe forgiveness is, it's like a medicine for you, right? It's a medicine that helps cure your hurt, cure the resentment, the pain, everything that you're feeling. That if you forgive, freely forgive, and I know there's a saying, forgive 70 times 7. Someone will ask, how many times should I keep forgiving this person? And 70 times 7. For me, I interpret that as always be willing to forgive. Always be willing to forgive. And there's no judgment. Whatever it is, I do believe all of us are messed up in some way or the other. And we all would make mistakes. We all might step on one another toes. But can you go first and say, for you ask for forgiveness? Can you go to the person and the part that maybe you didn't get right, maybe your mistake, the part that you played in the conflict, that you can go ask them for forgiveness? I do believe it always take a bigger person to go and ask forgiveness. And many people will say, well, I am not going to ask no forgiveness. I didn't do anything wrong here, right? And again, that's up to you. Do you want to build a relationship? Do you want to make things right? We want to mend or heal broken relationships. And most of all, I must say that you need to examine the part of what you're playing here, because you holding on to it, you are holding to the unforgiveness, you choosing not to forgive that person because you let your pride gets in the way, and you would not go and say, I'm sorry. I've experienced so many people who said things about me, and I choose to forgive them. I choose to show them that I am different. I choose to do whatever I can do to help them still. But it's a choice. I'm not saying to be like me, but I'm saying that we all have things that we're dealing with, and it's a choice for you to be the bigger person and go and say, I'm sorry that maybe whatever I said, whatever I did didn't work out the way it was or way I would like it to. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. How can we mend this? Right? So it also starts with you forgiving others, choosing in your heart that I want to forgive this person. We are all have something that we're dealing with, and we forgive. So it's a choice starting with you to forgive. Then it's a choice of you going and ask for forgiveness. And then at some point too, you might need to forgive your own self. And this part of it is that sometimes many of us actually, you know we are so hard on ourselves, on the mistakes that we make. And because you're so hard on yourself, you carry this emotional baggage around all the time. So it's a choice on your side too, that what, I'm not saying use your human nature as an excuse to keep messing up or to keep making mistake, or don't forgive people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that forgive yourself, learn from what your mistakes were, and move on. Living in the past of all your mistakes, it's not going to help you, and you are the one who is going to be, as I said earlier with the saying, you drinking the poison and you're wishing someone else will die. It doesn't work like that. It is you who's suffering. You're the one who are going through the mental strain, the mental drama that you are feeling, every aspect of it. And I can guarantee you, the day you actually say, I forgive you, tell that person, I forgive you, and ask for forgiveness, it's like a weight, it's, big load coming off your shoulder by letting it out and being free from it. And you do have the power to choose wisely that I don't want to carry this baggage for the rest of my life. And so I'm speaking to many people here today. Forgiveness, I believe it's a medicine for you to have peace, to have joy, to enjoy your life by not holding on to things that you don't have control over what people do. But you can choose to forgive them. You can choose to understand that you're not perfect too, and you do make mistakes too, and you would require also people forgiving you. And for me, I always say, if God can forgive me, who am I that I should not forgive someone else? What make me so mighty that I cannot forgive someone else who might have messed up in whatever way? So start today by forgiving. Maybe it's forgiving yourself so that you'll be able to forgive others. How easily are you able to forgive yourself? Because likely, if you are not forgiving yourself too, is that might not be easy for you to say, I forgive you to somebody else. So examine that today. Examine what grudges you're holding, what maybe you need to let go of, what you might need to go set right, and go set it right. If you really want to have peace, go set it right. Let go of it. Don't take it to your grave. I'm telling you today is that you're going to live a miserable life if you continue letting everything bother you and everybody bother you and holding on to those things. And letting go is just freeing you, right? And I want to remind you of the verse that they are, the saying that Smedes said, to forgive is to set a prisoner free, and to discover that the prisoner was you. Let that sink in. Please do share this video with someone who you think can benefit from, unforgiveness that is there in their heart that they may need to let go. Help them to get better by sharing this video, comment, even if there's something in your heart that you want to add that you can help someone else, please do so in the comment and share the video. See you, and do not hold on to any grudges or any jealousy, any unforgiveness in your heart. Let go. Enjoy.